Hi, folks. This is Rick Emmett of Triumph.
This is Mark Merrill, also known as Johnny B. Bad.
Hi, this is a best-selling author. I threw the best-selling in there. Best-selling author Dick Wybrow.
I'm Melanie from Second Shooter.
This is Jeff with Second Shooter.
Hey everybody, it's Brian Allen from Bridges Ablaze.
Hey, this is Sammy Lee, drummer of the band Red Rain.
Yo guys, it's Mark McKay.
Hey, this is Frank Fletcher.
Hola amigos, this is Billy Sheehan.
Hey guys, this is John Karabi.
Hi, this is Jim Valance.
What's up everybody, it's Logan from All the Pretty Things.
Hey guys, it's Leather Leone.
This is Nothing from Inside the Trojan Horse.
What's up guys, Cassandra Carson here from Paralandra and the Life Project.
My name's Reggie and you are listening to the Weekly Pour podcast. Thanks so much for joining the most amazing twosome out there.
The most amazing things that can happen to a human being will happen to you if you lower your expectations. Welcome to the Weekly Pour podcast. Here are your hosts, TBT and Ace.
There we are. We're missing.
That's it right there.
Yep. This is all you get this week. Number one, because I had to shave my face and Ace had to shave his head.
No one wants that again.
Yeah.
No
this
one.
Is very true. This is very true. Welcome. This is the Weekly Pour podcast. This is episode number 132. If you're just joining us, be sure to hit that thumbs up. If you're watching on the YouTubes, hit the like button. If you are watching on the Facebooks, and if this is your first time, jump into either of the chats and say hi. Because, it's what we do. We got people in there already. Mama TBT, Natalie, the moderator's there. Nat McPook is there. And, everybody else, they just haven't said anything. So, whatever. Here we are. It's Tuesday, April something another. The 22nd.
22nd.
Yeah.
The double deuce.
April double deuce. You know what? I got to mow again.
Dude, I'm over it already.
Too. Yeah. It's between that and the enormous amount of dandelions that are currently in my yard. I'm about all dandelioned out.
Yes, and I know when I mow them and everything looks nice, that the next morning they're right back. They are right back.
Yeah. There's no wait.
I've sprayed my lawn before, but this year I haven't been able to.
I've peed in my yard just to see if that would help.
Nothing helps.
No.
Nothing helps.
No,
you made those cool graphics at the beginning of the show you just showed.
Yeah, I'm going to throw them back up.
Yeah, those are cool. And that got me thinking. First of all, thank you for the generous height.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
The weight, right. The weight's pretty close.
Well, and I figured, 5'10"-ish. I mean, ish, whatever.
Yeah, ish. Exactly. In heels.
Yeah. So those are done by the now infamous ChatGPT. Not a sponsor. This is not a plug, but holy moly.
No, it's amazing what they can do and make you look. I mean, it's uncanny how realistic it is with the AI stuff. But you made the graphics last week for the show, and you were sending them to me, and I was getting tired of the angry face,
right?
That I kept having, because apparently, no matter what picture you would use, it made me angry like that. And I eventually just figured out that you were probably just trolling me anyway, right? Just to get under my skin. Either way, it ended up being hilarious because I tried to make a better one.
Right.
And couldn't do it. That was the best one. Because if I made myself smile, it made me look like a caricature of myself.
Yes.
Everything I did made it worse. And then ChatGPT, the one you were talking about, maybe it was Grok I was using, the Elon Musk version of AI. Yeah, what is that? What is that?
I don't know, but I don't like that one.
No, why do I look like I'm getting ready to sell you some hardware?
You look like I'm getting... That's exactly what I was going to say. I'm getting ready to run down to the old Ace Hardware and pick myself up a hammer.
no matter what, you look like, a happy member of ZZ Top. No matter what. I may go from angry to trying to sell ice cream.
Yeah.
And so I never could, no matter what. That's the best one.
I don't want your stupid hammer.
Yeah, I couldn't come up with anything better. Yeah. And I haven't shared them with you because I'm afraid to. But they're horrible.
Yeah,
they're horrible.
So those that can see this, if you're watching the video and you see these images, the two that opened up the show, the missing persons ads, if you will, those were all because of Kathy.
Yes,
I'm totally blaming her for all of it. But Ace was running a little behind this evening, and so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna make a missing persons picture in case you didn't show up on time. Whatever. I did not know that it was going to come out looking like that. And the first words out of your mouth was, what gang do I belong to?
Right. What cartel?
Yeah, what cartel? So yeah, but really cool. I mean, it's awesome.
So I go from selling hardware to drug runner.
Right.
Or
well, you must be. You're selling a lot of hammers. Why did Viper say that? Misspelled 5'8".
Misspelled.
What a jerk.
Hey, it's generous. I appreciate it.
He said you look like a cross between Ralph Macchio and Mr. Miyagi.
I thought I looked more like the guy from No Country for Old Men. That and some of the other Grindhouse movie. I think he was in Grindhouse. Can't remember his name now. Is it something Machete? Something Machete.
I don't know. All I know is that those are stupid fun. Stupid fun. But whatever. What do you do? What do you do? Now that Kathy's jumped in, it is immediately time to talk about WrestleMania for the next 52 and a half minutes. No, you were helping Kathy this evening real quick, which is why the wanted or the missing person thing was made, blah, 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 whatever. But yeah, jumping into that just a little bit. And I know we're not going to take a deep dive because we could literally spend an entire hour talking about WrestleMania nights 1 and 2. I just want to point out some minor things, if you will, minor.
Try to keep it brief.
Yeah, 62,000 people attended night 1 and night 2. Do I know if it was the same 62,000? No idea. I'm sure for the most part it was. But 62,000 people in this large stadium, and then they turn around and have 16,000 last night at Raw. That's always, the big show is Raw following WrestleMania because it kind of culminates all the stories and everything. But
it sets the agenda for the next few months or year even.
Yeah, the next 364 and a half days.
Right.
But you think about that, we're talking nearly 150,000 people.
Right. Did you see
into Vegas?
Did you see the attendance for Stand and Deliver, which was Saturday also?
I did
NXT. They were at the arena. I probably the same one for Raw, and it was a pretty good crowd for it. I don't know the numbers.
Okay.
But if you let's say you fill that with 10,000 people. Now you're at what'd you say, 150, now 160,000?
Yeah,
something like that. It's
unreal.
unreal.
Over the course of 3 days, that they can bring in. I think I was sitting with Mrs. TBT on night 1 when they actually announced the attendance, and I took it and I was like, let's just ballpark $150 per ticket, which I know is way low for some of the tickets, but I just ballparked $150.
Okay.
They cleared easily at the gate alone, not merch, not food, no refreshments, anything like that. $9 million. That's one night only at the gate.
Right, just the gate. Right,
So
and that's an average ticket. You're saying, an average.
Sure,
and it's probably more than that.
I guarantee it.
Unreal what money they can generate, and now doing it consistently for the last 2.5 years, probably.
Yeah.
Where they're selling out arenas all the time. I remember the early '90s. I went to a show at Market Square Arena, Indianapolis, like 1991 or two, something like that. Man, there were probably, it looked like 10 people in that place.
Mm-hmm.
10 people. Now, obviously, it's probably 2,000, but it very many.
Yeah.
Because that was when we had the wrestlers that were professions. You had your dumpsters and your dump truck drivers and trash men, dentists and doctors and IRS people.
A Tatanka.
Yeah, a Tatanka. That.
I just did the math again real quick, and I just averaged $150, 150,000 people. That's $22.5 million. And Mrs. TBT brought up a very good point. She's like, well, that may be what they brought into the gate, but that's not taken into account, how much they have to pay for, whatever it is they have to pay for. There's obviously catering.
They got to rent the arena. They've got to
see, and she brought that up, but I'm just wondering because I don't think they do, because this is just like the Olympics. They bid for WrestleMania. So these places actually pay to host the show for
that event, and that's a big one. So you're probably right, because where it's at in Vegas is going to generate how many millions of dollars for the downtown area or the Strip, wherever you're at.
Oh yeah,
right. It's like when Indianapolis bids for the Final Four or the NBA draft or anything they do like that. We got the NFL draft coming up or the Combine.
Right.
Cities bid for that stuff because it generates cash for your city.
Right. And we will have Indianapolis. We will have WrestleMania in Indianapolis within the next few years. So, I mean, you can just imagine now just not just the people. Man, it's not just the people. It's the money that the people spend. They all still have to sleep, eat, drink.
Right.
And it's a week long.
Show is what I'm thinking of, your average house show. But yes, you're correct. I guarantee Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam will be the same way.
Yeah.
The big events, they'll want them there in your city, and they'll bid on it.
Right. Yeah. So. And there was a bunch of stuff that happened. Lots of stuff happened. I almost dare to say that last night's Raw was almost better than night 2.
It was good.
But I mean, it was just good. I was not expecting some of the things that happened, but that's the way the stories are told. It played off of what happened, night 1. It somewhat played off what happened in night 2. There were some surprises that happened during both nights. We got, we'll have to bring it up. We got to talk about Stone Cold and his ATV accident.
I didn't see this. I yeeted a little bit of the show here and there to get through because I was behind Sunday night.
Right.
Catch up to you guys, you and my son that were watching. So I missed this part. What was he doing? What was the purpose of him coming out?
He was coming out to announce the attendance.
Oh, okay.
That was it. So there's
somebody.
There's two things to this story. The first part is he missed the ramp way back before he even started. He missed it. He couldn't see it. So he had to back up and then hit onto the ramp because you came up the side and he had to make a turn to the right to head down towards the ring. Missed that. So that should have been the telling thing right there. So he goes down, he misses it, comes back up, makes his round, gets down to the ring, goes around the ring once, goes around the ring 3/4 of the way, doesn't quite make the turn, and smash right into the barricade. Anybody that's never been to a live event, there's a barricade that surrounds the ring. 2 reasons. Number 1, keep the crowd back. And number 2, it's padded. They can use it as a an instrument or tool or whatever. He crashed into it. Now there's a lady, who we don't know if she was injured. I mean, this thing didn't move. It's not like it moves 5 feet and it's smashing into people, like a guardrail. This thing doesn't really move. It flexes. But she's acting like she was absolutely just tore up, just ticked off. So now the big rumor is right now, TKO and WWE and everybody are nervous because they're afraid that she's going to end up suing them, which of course she's going to. I mean, what do you do? But when you see the president, Mr. Khan out there talking to her, Nick Khan's out talking to her like, you okay and all that, but very, very comical. I mean, I hope she didn't get hurt, but it was classic Stone Cold. And it was it was unintentional.
They do this all the time. Driving the 4-wheelers out without incident. Was it Chuck Palumbo that used to ride the motorcycle? The Undertaker used to ride his motorcycle out. Milk trucks, beer trucks.
Kurt Angle brings a milk truck, a beer truck, a trash truck.
Right. So they do it all the time without incident.
Yeah.
They parked hay wagons at ringside so people could get thrown into them.
They brought a tractor so Brock Lesnar could lift the ring off of the floor.
Yes. Yeah.
So I mean, there's all kinds of things that happen. There was Stone Cold with that. Joe Hendry, who is from a different promotion, showed up to run a match. He pretty much got smashed, but at the same time, it was very good for the arc that it created for his opponent at the time, which was Randy Orton, who's been around, 25, 30 years. And then he progressed his storyline last night.
Yes.
The celebrities were all over the place. Travis Scott, who was involved in the main event storyline on night 2.
Controversially.
I'm going to give my opinion, and this is my opinion only. Horrible. Horrible.
In the moment, I kind of was enjoying it just because I'm watching it, but the whole time I'm expecting The Rock to come out like this guy is just leading The Rock because he's his little minion, his little buddy.
Yeah.
And we didn't get The Rock, and I don't know why. Is it because we expected it?
In an interview conducted today, I believe on the Pat McAfee show, he basically stated, now you take this for what it's worth, in character or out of character. His response was, this was John's time, and we didn't need the final boss there to take anything away from John Cena doing his thing. So this was just, it was John's night. So let's just go with that.
But like you said, you texted me the next day after this and said all he had to do was come out, stand at the top of the ramp, and give a little nod approving what had happened, and acknowledging this whole thing, and that's all he had to do.
Didn't even have to play his music.
No,
because that's what WWE and their fans are always, they always go crazy when they hear the music. You didn't need it. You just needed to have him walk out, stand there,
yes,
nod in approval, and walk away. But instead, we get Travis Scott, who's just, sure, he's a big fan. He was involved in the Elimination Chamber or whatever it was, when he slapped the crap out of Cody Rhodes, but we didn't need him again.
Why why do we have to have? I know they want the celebrity power that some of these people bring, but we are constantly having hip hop artists and rappers, and not just appearing there for a free ticket on the front row. They want to be involved. They want to interact, and it's not that he didn't do okay. He took a crossroads like a champ from Cody, but it's just, now we're getting this, and we expect The Rock.
Exactly.
We have, Bad Bunny a few years ago wrestled a match.
Yeah,
and he did fine.
Yeah,
but why are we letting these guys jump in the ring and doing things that have taken years for these other people to master?
Yeah,
we've heard wrestlers rap, and nobody wants that again.
Hey, John Cena is the best rapper out there.
John Cena excluded.
Mr. Thugonomics himself. All in all, I thought it was a great show. Night one and night two, there were ups, there were downs, there were things you agreed with, there were things you didn't agree with, but that's why we don't get paid big bucks to write any of it. We as fans just get to acknowledge what happened, no pun intended. We get to just sit back and say, okay, I wouldn't have done it this way. I would have done this, I would have done that, whatever. Now's the build. Now is the build for the next WrestleMania. So,
well, here's what I told you the first night, and I think you were somewhat in agreement. Excuse me, I'm in a fit right now. But the matches themselves, the finishes, the results were a bit predictable, but it didn't take away from the matches. The matches themselves were amazing. So even if you knew that Tiffany was going to go over on Charlotte, we knew that would probably happen. But the match was great. Right. So it didn't take away from, if you knew that, trying to pick one out off the top of my head, but, that Jey Uso was going to win the world title over Gunther.
Right.
We all knew that would happen. But the match was great. The journey was great, even though it was a bit predictable here and there.
Yeah. And there's matches that you could look at and say, you know what, this could have just been a Monday Night Raw match, like the New Day versus the War Raiders. That could have been done on Raw, and you would have known no difference. But to have nearly all of the belts change hands,
crazy. All but one.
Yeah, exactly. But then one of them that did changed back again last night during Raw. So I don't know, but my hat's off to. Go ahead.
I watched pay-per-views where no belts change hands.
Oh yeah.
And in this case, we were giving everyone what they wanted. That this person's going to win, and they'll probably win a championship, and it was very much a fan service type of night.
Yeah, yeah. The only one that I was not happy with as a fan, was Logan Paul beating AJ Styles. But here we go again. AJ Styles is on his way out. He's coming towards the end of his career, maybe in the next year or two. So why not put somebody over? Why not put Logan Paul over? Put Logan Paul over that does or does not deserve it, because he hadn't come up into business. And that's what a lot of people complain about. But
okay. But is he not a natural wrestler?
And a natural heel.
He's a natural heel. You can't knock anything he says on the mic. Right. It's perfect every time. You cannot knock his matches, because he's as good as their top 3 or 4 wrestlers. As good. And he's been doing this now 2 years. Something like that.
Or 5.
Whatever it is. Time flies.
Yeah.
But when he started, he came out seemingly nowhere. And was this talented.
Yeah.
So hats off to him.
Oh, most definitely. Like I said a while ago, all in all, good show. Great entrances. Some of them had more pyro than normal. Had You had motorcycles, you had dancers, you had jump ropers,
Right.
just, you had video vignettes with, old CM Punk when he's playing, gosh, what was the name of the song? Into the Fire, his old school theme. I mean, and the crowd's just into it. They're singing it. And we haven't heard that song live at an event for years. For me personally, my favorite entrance was Damian Priest.
With Kerry.
And there's a reason, and I'm going to put up a photo because I had to find a photo to put up of this. This was absolutely epic. Usually when there's going to be a superstar, a band or some, for instance, Living Color, who came out and played live for CM Punk for his entrance, I was not expecting Kerry King. And you can see that on the screen now if you're watching. I jumped up. I was like, holy crap, it's Kerry King from Slayer. And I don't know. I was just, as a wrestling fan and as a metal fan, two of the biggest things right there. And Damian Priest is he's a metal guy anyway. He loves metal music and, got into, Alice Cooper and Metallica and all that. And he was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Rumor has it, the Blue Meanie is the one who actually talked to Kerry King and asked him if he was interested, and then went and told Damian Priest, who then went to Triple H and said, hey, I heard that Kerry King would be willing to come on and play this. Now you've got that tidbit of information. You can do something with it. Sure enough, they did. So hats off to the Blue Meanie, who's, back there doing whatever. But very cool. Totally unexpected.
I thought Living coming out with CM Punk doing Cult of Personality, which is CM Punk's theme song,
right?
Now currently, was amazing. Man, they sounded good.
Yeah,
they sounded so good. I was super impressed. And it escapes me, but I always forget the guitar player's name for them. But he sounded fantastic, and so did Vernon Reed.
And I love watching him play.
Yes. Yeah, and they were so good and so laid back, and Punk is just singing along. Everyone's singing along. It was a good time.
Yeah, there's almost not there wasn't a theme song that was played that had vocals that crowd wasn't singing.
Right.
We used to get Randy Orton in, and nobody would sing his stuff, but now
you can't hear the music now.
Yeah,
you can't hear the music.
I absolutely love it.
I also like the fact that the U.S. crowds, since WWE has come back from Europe,
the
U.S. crowds are adopting some of those chants that are so fun over in Europe.
Right.
The way they chant and sing along to their favorite wrestler, just singing their name. It's so cool. They did it last night with Heyman. With Paul Heyman, I think, or was it maybe Sunday? One night, I think it was Monday night.
I thought they did it last night with hang on, it wasn't Pat McAfee. It was Michael Cole.
Yes, at the end.
Yeah.
Now, for points for originality on that whole angle.
That entire segment was off the charts.
Right, and for those that don't know, Michael Cole is the announcer for Monday Night Raw and the bigger pay-per-views and such, and they have several of them, and Michael Cole's role is to provide commentary and color commentary and opinion, and his job is to add to the story. And Gunther, a wrestler who lost his WrestleMania match to Jey Uso, he got mad. Yeah, he got yeeted. He got mad at Michael Cole and some things that Michael Cole said and attacked him. And, it was pretty brutal. And they progressed that storyline as the show went on. It was very well done.
Yeah,
because
it
it's
was.
rare you see involved. McAfee got involved trying to, calm people down and ended up getting into it with Gunther. And I'm waiting for that match, McAfee and Gunther.
Yeah, incredible angle that was set up. A lot of storyline progressions last night on Raw. It'll be interesting. We also got the return of Rusev, who's back in the WWE. We got the return of Sami Zayn, who I was expecting to see him do something to Jey Uso. Didn't happen. That whole entire segment, in my opinion, was really, really long, drawn out, and confusing as a fan. I'm like, okay, literally nothing is happening here other than letting Jey Uso soak it in. But I think even the crowd was waiting because when he was standing behind him, they were all like, ooh, you have 16,000 people just waiting for something to happen. And then nothing did. So it was a little weird. It was almost like last night was the hungover version of Raw.
Well, you also got nice. You also got the couple of people brought up from NXT to the main roster. I think Julia is going to be up, and she's a phenomenal wrestler. Roxanne Perez, who has been up at Raw here and there, I think she's coming up full time, and she's phenomenal. So, good stuff.
Viper just pointed out that Becky Lynch was back. Yep, and I'm gonna call it right now. Watch for Becky Lynch to be the first Paul Heyman girl.
That would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
and it would make sense. Why wouldn't you have a split faction? Male, female kind of thing.
Well, it was perfect last night because she turned heel or turned to a bad person. Yeah. So, okay. All right, Kathy, you can come back because we're going to move on from the world of wrestling. But we'll do it again here in about 363 days.
So long.
Big news coming out of the Alice Cooper world. I don't know if you had heard anything about this prior to this news being broke. I hadn't heard any rumblings, no rumors.
No, I knew a while back that he had reunited for a couple of shows with the original Cooper band. But this is a little different.
This is quite different. On July 25th, a new album featuring the surviving members of the original Alice Cooper band, which is, of course, Alice Cooper, Michael Bruce, Dennis Dunaway, and Neil Smith. The album is called The Revenge of Alice Cooper. Again, going to be released on July 25th. And it will be the first studio album for the reunited full band in over 50 years. That's a 5. That's 50. 50 years. It also includes a special appearance by Glenn Buxton, the late Alice Cooper guitarist who died back in 1997. The song What Happened to You was built from the riff on an old demo tape that Dennis Dunaway and Buxton had made together. And the limited edition box set bonus track Return of the Spiders 2025 is an updated remix of a track from the Cooper Group's second album, 1970's Easy Action. I can't wait to hear this.
Well, we're a little behind the anyway because the single was released today, Black Mamba.
Yeah,
the first single. I hadn't got around to that because I was listening to the Hailstorm single we'll talk about in a little bit.
Well, I don't even know if we'll be able to find it because I think that was going to be released on Alice Cooper's radio show. So I don't even know if it's out for us to get.
You're right. It says right here, syndicated radio show Alice's Attic.
Oh, okay.
So it's exclusive to Alice's show. So I guess we'll get it a little bit later, maybe
tomorrow. The Revenge of Alice Cooper was produced by longtime Alice Cooper collaborator Bob Ezrin, who worked with Cooper Group in 1971's Killers, 72 Schools Out, and 73's $1 Billion Babies. And he's also helmed a number of albums that Cooper released as a solo artist. So very excited for that. July 25th, The Revenge of Alice Cooper. I can't wait to hear the single. I can't wait to hear some of the other stuff that comes out. I'm really, really, really hope it's going to be good. It's a 16-track album. 2 of them are bonus tracks: Return of the Spiders 2025 and the Titanic Over Underture.
Alice tours virtually nonstop. He's got one of the best touring bands out there. They're phenomenal. I wonder though, are they going to do something with this original band? They're all up there. I mean, I don't know if they would want to. Maybe do a limited run of shows or something. That would be kind of cool. Maybe incorporate it with his touring band that he already has to supplement, some of it.
Yeah, so they're all not getting burnt out.
And like I said, his band's phenomenal. So it would be easier to have someone to supplement some things and fill out the sound and such.
Yeah, and here's a picture of the album cover if you're watching the show. Pretty cool. It looks I don't want to say cartoonish, but it looks 70s, horror movie kind of Alice Cooperish.
That's a B horror movie, and it's wonderful.
Right.
It's wonderful. That's great.
Exactly. So that'll be good.
Well, here we go. Later in the article, Alice is asked about touring with the original band, and he says, "We haven't even gotten to that point yet. I don't really see it being a full-out tour. It would be very, very hard. I think if you haven't done it for a long time." So he's acknowledging that.
Yeah.
But I could see it being a feature, like going into certain cities, Detroit, New York, LA, London maybe, and doing a half-hour, 40-minute set in a club or something. We always have to leave those things open, and if it looks feasible, we'll do it.
I have a garage.
You do, a garage mahal.
Yeah. We'll invite them.
It's big enough.
Yeah, should be. Sammy Hagar's been ghosted.
I saw this. I haven't had a chance to look at it, so now I'm wondering what you mean by that.
So Sammy Hagar, here soon, I believe April 25th. So we're looking 3 days from today. So Friday, since we record this on Tuesday, Sammy Hagar will release a personal new single called Encore, Thank You, Good Night. The track is a melodic rock anthem written by Hagar and Joe Satriani and was inspired by a dream and brought to reality by introspective lyrics, powerful chords, and a rhythmic guitar and drums. This was inspired by a vivid dream that Hagar had about the late Eddie Van Halen. And the song marks a full circle moment in his storied career. Encore, Thank You, Good Night is, of course, Sammy Hagar on vocals, Michael Anthony on bass, Joe Satriani on guitar, and Kenny Aronoff on drums. So basically, it's the tour.
Right.
The production delivers a sound that is at once nostalgic and forward-looking, according to Hagar. The dream that sparked the song came about a year after Eddie's passing and left a lasting impact. Rather than being a somber farewell, the song is a celebration and expression of appreciation for the fans and for the unforgettable chapter they shared in Van Halen. He says that he adds that this song is my final bow to that part of my life. It's not meant to be anything more than a thank you with love, with respect, and with one hell of a guitar solo. April 27th. So we're going to get that this Friday.
Nice.
On April 27th, the official Encore Thank You Good Night music video will premiere live during Hagar's headline set at the Stagecoach Festival and globally during a YouTube video premiere. So not only do we get the song, we get a video. And knowing Hagar, he's put some stuff into this video. So
right. It might be chocked full of little Easter egg surprises for Van Halen fans. One thing I love about Sammy is that he's talked a lot, more than anyone probably, about that era of Van Halen that he was in, and just really looks back on it for the most part very fondly because it was so good, and should be celebrated. The Roth era is very celebrated, but I don't know that David Lee Roth even looks back nostalgically like this on his days in Van Halen because he's too busy, I don't know, being David Lee Roth.
Yeah, he's too busy being Dave.
Right, and Sammy's not like that. He's very very sentimental in his older years, and it reflects in his music. So this should be really, really good.
Yeah. If you don't watch YouTube, except for this podcast, Encore Thank You Good Night will be serviced to classic, active, and mainstream rock radio on April 25th. A full digital campaign will launch across social platforms showcasing behind-the-scenes footage, TikTok and Instagram Reels, fan-generated content, and more. A 7-inch collector's edition vinyl will be available for pre-order, along with bundles and exclusive merchandise drops. And that is a big thank you from Blabbermouth for breaking that news, or at least breaking it to me, because I hadn't heard anything about it. So that was pretty cool.
No, I haven't either.
So 2 days ago, I think it was 2 days ago, it was before WrestleMania, so maybe Friday. Speaking of Friday, one more thing, Kathy, take a nap real quick. I want to give a shout out and props to the Hall of Fame. It took me 2 days to watch it, and that was just to get through Triple H's speech. Good show overall, but I just wanted to touch real quick on Triple H's speech. Phenomenal. I put it right up there with the Undertaker's from a couple of years ago when he retired, but Triple H's was great. Anyway, sorry, it just popped in my head that I wanted to touch on that while ago and just remembered. Kathy, wake up. 2 days before WrestleMania, or the day before, I sent you a track that I got introduced to from Mrs. TBT that I didn't see coming. And that was a track from Marilyn Manson.
Oh, yes.
Someone who we don't talk about a lot on this podcast, but we're going to tonight because I am impressed. If you don't know, in anticipation of his upcoming 2025 tour, iconic shock rocker Marilyn Manson has released a cover of luminary musician Phil Collins' "In the Air Tonight." The single has been made available with the B-side track "As Sick as the Secrets of Sleep." Try saying that 3 times fast. On a maxi single CD, which sold out in just 4 hours.
Not bad.
The "In the Air Tonight," everybody knows the drums. Everybody knows the song. It's a classic. It's an iconic song. It is a Miami Vice "Driving at Night with Tubbs and Crockett" song.
Right.
He does it justice.
It's been covered a bunch.
Yeah.
But I think this is right up there with the best of the covers. It's pretty darn good. It's got a lot of grit to it. I like.
Yeah, it's up there for me as one of my favorite covers, specifically of this song. So I highly encourage you to give it a listen if you haven't already, because it's out there and it is absolutely. It's for me. You get the best of both worlds. You get, a Phil Collins song, and then you get Marilyn Manson, because there is no denying that it's Marilyn Manson.
Right.
Great job. And he's done a number of different, covers for things, and he seems to always get them right. And this is another one that he gets to throw right up there on that list because it's good. And again, just listen to it.
Yeah, this has been covered more than you can even think of.
Oh,
numerous. Non-point being one that did a really good job with it.
Mm-hmm. Right. I do remember that one. I like this version better, though.
I do too.
Where are we at? Okay. I had to look at the time to see where we're at in time. Before we get into what Ace mentioned a while ago with Hailstorm, I just wanted to real quick mention that Def Leppard, Motley Crue, Bret Michaels, Extreme, The Struts, Buck Cherry, Dorothy, Living Color, and more have announced the Rock the Tides, which is a brand new destination festival coming to the stunning beaches of Riviera Maya, Mexico in November 2025. So whoever is going, take us with you.
That sounds like a fun time.
It really does. It's hosted at a luxurious, all-inclusive 5-star beachfront resort. It is a 3-day celebration of rock music's finest offers. And yeah, the Crew, Def Leppard, which of course, they toured together. Poison, minus everybody except for Bret Michaels. What a lineup. I mean, that's going to be awesome. What did I say it was? November? Yeah, November 2025. So there's still time. It's only April if you're interested.
That's probably a real good time in Mexico as far as weather too. It might I don't know much about Mexico and the weather, but I would assume it's a little cooler in November.
Sure.
Not like it is here where you might have snow, hail, and hurricanes.
Right.
Why not? Right.
You're going to scare Kathy right out of here.
She gets scared every Friday at noon when the tornado sirens go off.
That warms my heart because of her falling asleep every time we talk about wrestling. But whatever. But yeah, November 7th, 8th, and 9th, 2025, Riviera Maya, Mexico. Rock the Tides. I mean, it's kind of a cool name.
It is. It's really cool.
Whatever.
And it's not a cruise.
No.
No, it's not a cruise. So this would be at a resort or something.
Yeah, it's all inclusive. It's an all inclusive resort. So the difference is you just don't move.
No, you stay right there.
Yeah.
Watch the music.
Yeah. Today, you sent me something. You sent me the new single from Hailstorm entitled Darkness Always Wins, which is a slowly building cinematic hard rock anthem that marks the Grammy-winning band's first release of 2025. The song is the first to be revealed from a new album, details of which we don't know anything about yet. It'll be announced soon. I didn't get a chance to listen to it till this afternoon, and I listened to it.
Is that about it?
That's about all I got for it right now.
Yeah.
I had to, honest to goodness, when I started it, when I pressed play, I had to look and make sure that I wasn't using a tape that had sat out in the sun because I thought the voice track had got stretched out or something. So I restarted it and I was like, nope, that's the way it sounds. Not a fan. I hope it grows on me. I love Hailstorm.
I do too.
I love Hailstorm. I'm gonna just put it out there. I just don't like this song.
I think this may mark a bit of a change of direction for that album. We'll see. They're a band that doesn't necessarily put out the same record every time, which for them in general works.
Right.
There's some bands that you can't even recognize. They do something so different. Hailstorm's not like that, but they do shake it up a little bit here and there. But ultimately, it's still Hailstorm. This is a bit of a departure.
Yes,
I'll give you that. I liked it. I thought the guitar solo that was toward the end was really good because it builds.
It is.
It builds that. It's very slow. like boiling water, until it gets to the peak.
It's hard to take back what's already been said, but I'm gonna do it anyway because it's our podcast. We can. I'm not gonna say I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it right now. I already said I didn't like it, but I want to give it a chance. I already said that too. I'm going to give it a chance. Hopefully, it was just the first hearing of it. It just didn't do anything for me. I'm going to re-listen to it and just see what I'm missing. Because usually you and I are pretty on track when it comes to stuff like this, especially Hailstorm, because we're both fans of Hailstorm. I'm gonna give it another listen or two and just see, and hopefully I was wrong, and maybe it was just getting home from work and everything sucked.
Well, it's okay to not always like everything someone does, because they do experiment and they can't stay the same all the time, and even though we want them to. A few years ago, Shinedown, who I love, put out a record. They put out a record. I forget what it was. It was Attention, Attention. And I didn't like that record a bit. Now, that was several years ago. Now, I hear it, and I'm starting to add some of those songs into my playlists, into my workout list. They had a single called Monster or Monsters.
Yep.
Love it now. Didn't like it when it came out. So it may take time. It's okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if there was something else on here about the album, but there's not. What did you just do?
What did you do?
Now, I can tell you exactly what happened. I think your phone turned a little bit and it decided to do that.
No, I got a pop-up menu about hand gestures. Something about hand gestures, and it wouldn't go away. So I hit the X, and here I am.
Okay, so turn it and then turn it again. Or just stay like that for the next 4 minutes.
There we go. Good enough.
But see, now you got to lean the other way. Not that way, the other way. That was you always lean that way. Again, what was the name of that song? Darkness Always Wins. It's not a song of hope,
depressing.
It's not a song of hope, though, nor is it a song of despair. Lizzie Hale says, "It is reality, history repeating, evil prevails, and the good depart first. But we are not doomed as long as we persist and keep our fires burning. The war may not be won in this lifetime, but our mission is to pass the torch so that those who follow have a light to fight with." Epic story, epic explanation of the song. And I think that helps with understanding where that song is, so hopefully when I listen to it again, or even whoever's listening to the podcast, when I listen to it, to be like, oh yeah, okay, I get it. It makes sense.
This almost says concept record to me.
Right.
Yeah, right. It's got this slow building, epic sounding song that, in your case, you're thinking it sounds like The Elder from Kiss. But man, what if it wasn't some sort of loose concept?
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
Oh, excuse me. Listen to that. Some other things we're not going to go deep into because of time and because it's just not super, super interesting. Ozzy continues to work out and has a training regimen for his farewell concert, which is coming up in July. Yep. Good stuff from him. Can't wait for that show, of course. Metallica has played their first show of 2025. And of course, just like all the others, it was amazing. So, yeah. So that's where we're at for this week. I don't have anything else. Nothing. What do you want to talk about, chat? Want to go back to WrestleMania?
Yeah, we can talk some more about that. Because a lot of good stuff. There was 2 nights. There's a lot to say.
And we only spent 30 minutes on 2 nights. 9 hours.
And we didn't even really talk about the specifics of the matches. We talked about the venue and the attendance and the money, which to me is just as interesting, and people should find that interesting.
Exactly.
So there you go.
But we didn't talk about, one thing I do want to bring up about it though